Group Project Video by Ahmed Mehdi, Byung-Koo Kim, Sefan Luka, and Yasin Mahboub. Group number 60.
The common goals we share include graduating within 4 to 5 years, depending on how many courses we decide to take each year. We also want to gain experience in our field of interest, which will largely depend on our choice of major, and we also want to develop other skills that may not be directly related to graduating with an engineering degree, but are nonetheless relatable to engineering, such as networking and any hobbies. This is a pie chart showing our estimated budget. On the left, we've broken down our costs, and we can see that tuition is just under a half, followed by housing at a third, leaving the remainder to go to transportation, food, and school supplies. Our estimated cost averaged roughly $24,000 a year, or $96,000 if completed within 4 years. This bar graph shows essentially the same information as the pie chart of our estimated budget, but it's important to note that for each cost, we've included a margin of error to compensate for the actual cost of a required item at the time of purchase, which over 4 years can vary. The estimated budget can therefore go up to $113,000 over 4 years. Completion of this project requires that multiple decisions are made, where each decision slightly alters the path and time to completing an engineering degree. Certain decisions are required to be made at certain times and orders, such as adding or dropping courses, then choosing a method of payment and paying on time, and finally applying for some major based off the courses you previously chose.
Successfully completing a term in university requires tremendous amounts of decision making that could alter the amount of time it could take on the path of completing our engineering degrees. It could range from deciding when to start and finish a project or assignment, to deciding what kind of housing or transit option to choose. We decided to make an example analysis for only one term due to the time constraint of 5 minutes. After completing all numerical values for early start, early finish, late start, and late finish in all categories of the example term, we were able to find the critical path, which lies in the middle path of the diagram as shown with the red direction markers. The numerical values for the course dropping portion of the example was left blank, since it is subject to change depending on when you drop the course.
Key stakeholders. For this project, there are many stakeholders. In our project plan, we initially had a list of 25 stakeholders. For the key stakeholders, we have narrowed our list down to 8 key stakeholders. In our project plan, we had categorized our stakeholders as either broad or immediate stakeholders. Our key stakeholders were not strictly narrowed down on this basis of categorization. The list of our stakeholders consists of students, family, government, Lassonde, professors, society, the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board, and the PEO, the Professional Engineers of Ontario. These key stakeholders were determined by how much they will be impacted by the project as well as their level of connection to the project. The key stakeholders were also determined by their goals and the importance they place on the project. Risk matrix. On the left-hand side, we can see a list of some risks that may occur while executing the project. The risk matrix shows the low risks in green, mild risks in yellow, and high risks in red. As we can see, risk number 6 and risk number 8 are high risks, which means that finding your course load too heavy or not being able to find employment after graduating are high risks for this project. To mitigate the risk of having a course load that is too heavy, we can plan to graduate in 4 to 5 years instead of 4 years. To mitigate the risk of not finding employment, we can do co-op, do volunteer research, or start meeting employers while studying.
For the project work breakdown structure, it has been divided into 4 levels. The first level is the project, the second level is the deliverable, and there are 4 deliverables, which are the group project plan, peer feedback, group video, and individual reports. For the third level, I added 4 sub-deliverables to the group project, and they are stakeholders/purpose, team capacity, project value, and market review. Also for the peer feedback, I added 2 sub-deliverables, which are project plan and group video. I didn't see the need to add a sub-deliverable to the group video and individual report because they are similar to the group project plan, and there will be a lot of sub-deliverables added, which will ruin the look of the diagram. This brings me to the 4th level, which is the work package. And for each sub-deliverable and deliverable, I briefly explained the work that is required to be completed.
While working on the project, everybody in the group found a role and took on that role's responsibilities. Ahmed took on the role of being team leader, Safian was the team's creative mind, I was the organizer, and Yasin was the team's mediator. There were parts of the project that the group worked on as a collective, and there were parts that were assigned to each member individually. Every member worked collectively to complete the project common goals and the common timeline sequences. Ahmed worked on the risk matrix and key stakeholders. Saifian worked on the project work breakdown. I worked on the nature of value trade studies, the example analysis, and the explanation of roles. Yasin worked on the estimated budget, studies at decision points, and the example analysis.
For the common timeline sequence, our goal is to complete the degree within 4 to 5 years, get a job with the degree we acquired within a year of graduating, and obviously this job, since it's going to be the first engineering job, it's going to be most likely the minimum pay, which is, depending on our major, it could be 50 to 60k a year or even less. And then after 3 to 5 years of work experience, we either get promoted to a better job in the company we're working in or get a better offer from another company.
Thanks for listening.